Alright folks, we are back with the Tokarev. We're going to put her back together. I'm going to go ahead and just jump right into it here. We're going to put your hammer sear block back together. Hammer, spring, goes in there. This is probably the most difficult part of it, because it's a pretty stout spring, and you have to get it to sit on this pin while you're aligning everything else to get your hammer pin through. There we go. It's a pretty stout spring, man. And it doesn't help that these are relatively sharp corners here on these things. They really didn't take the time to do a lot of fit and finish on these guns, so they run though. They're damn good guns, man. Do they run? The next thing here, I'm gonna drop in the disconnector or sear block, actually. If you notice that little tab that comes out here, that goes to the outside here, like that. And another difficult thing that you're going to run into, you can kind of start this pin if you want. I don't think this has ever worked for me, but this spring, this sear spring here, there's a groove. Let me get it so you can actually see on the camera, dummy. There's a groove on the inside of this here. Right there. That is what retains the tip of this spring, and you can see where it wears on the edge of that. So what you really have to do is try and you can use a punch or whatever, but you have to get that spring in that slot and then hope it doesn't go flying out on you when you're trying to push this pin through. Like that. There we go. And that's your sear spring. So now you can, that's the safety notch there. That was the only built-in safety these guns were designed with. And I would leave it there. I wouldn't try and cock it or anything when you put it back in the gun. But we're going to set that aside. We're going to put our trigger and spring back in, so it'll sit in the gun like this. And that little hooked piece there, just get that underneath the pin, like so. A little bit of back pressure on that. And you're going to take your trigger with that little, in this case, that stud, the one that came from Century, because that's part of that safety upgrade they did to get them in the country. And stick it in and rotate it into its trigger slot, like so. Like so. There we go. Bang. That's it. At this point, I'm going to go ahead and drop that safety back in. I'll put it in here because it has that little detent on it. I'm going to push the detent in with a screwdriver and just leave it there. I'm going to put our magazine release back in. You can see where that little keyway is cut, so that'll just drop in there. Put your spring in the split pin, and it pushed in pretty easy. Your may be a little bit more difficult, but that went in pretty easy for me. Going to put the sear block housing and everything right back into it there. Yep. And it should just fall in just like that. We're going to go ahead and put our grips back on, and I have to remember which one is which. This is the right side grip. Yep, it goes in there, and we'll take our little punch-roo and we'll rotate that tab back up so it grabs inside the frame there. I'm going to do the same thing on this side. Why you no line up? rotate a little bit on me or something? What's going on? There we go. And it's upside down. That's probably why I didn't go in correctly. Note to self. Don't be stupid. There we go. Yeah. A little bit of a motivation there. Add it to seat. Reach in, grab your tab and rotate it. Dunskies. For simplicity's sake, we'll put the mag together real quick too. Follower goes in like that. Mag spring goes in like that. You got your little do-wackiest there. Remember that tab's got to point up because I almost put it in upside down. Because that's what's going to hold the foreplate itself on. Base plate, whatever you want to call it. Stick her on. Woo. There we go. Slide. Like I said, I didn't pull the extractor out. You could if you wanted to. It's just that pin. Knock it out. There's no real reason to on a basic strip. Unless you're replacing something or the extractor's broken, just don't mess with that. This will have to go back in. Now the cut inside the firing pin obviously has to face the upwards. I almost told you wrong there too. Goes up. Hold it in, make sure it clears. Now the direction of this pin doesn't matter. Does not matter. Get it to go in. Little tap, tap, taparoo. Make sure it clicks. There we go. Now we're going to put our barrel back in as such. We're going to put our recoil spring and plug cap, or whatever you want to call that thing there at the end, with the guide rod. Stick that on there. Now I'm going to cock the hammer, just because it makes it easier putting this slide on. Yeah. Like I said, you don't have to line anything up except for the barrel link there. And these springs are pretty stout too, these recoil springs, so let's see if I can get it to push down just enough to get the bushing on. Yep, I think I got it. There we go, just like that. Just out of curiosity, yep, safety block works. That's all she wrote, guys. Oh, no, I'm lying to you. I'm sorry. Don't forget your little clippy clip here. It's a magazine. Fucking whatever. Stick that on there. Ugh. There we go. Now we're complete. That's it, guys. Real short, real sweet. If you got any questions or comments, put them down there in the appropriate commenty section. Thumbs up, like, share, subscribe if you would, please. You guys have a fantastic day. As always, if there is a firearm that you would like to see me go through, I mean, I'm trying to make a list of stuff that people want to see, so if one comes through my shop, I can do a teardown for you. It's all on chance. You can ask for it, but it doesn't mean I'm going to come up with it right away. But if I remember when I've got one in here, I can do a teardown on it. So, thanks again for watching, guys. Take care.